So this example is going to span over 2 slides. So we're going to have to pop back and forth. So the function f of x is 2x squared minus x minus 28. Find the domain. So when you're asked to find the domain of a function, in your mind you should be checking 2 things. When we hit chapter something, we'll add a 3rd thing to that list. So the first thing, are there any fractions? Are there any radicals? So what's the domain? All real numbers. B, whether it opens up or down and why. So you have 2 basic shapes of a parabola. This shape we say opening up. This shape we say opening down. The phrasing opening up and opening down is only reserved for parabolas. When you get to calc, they'll say other things like concave up and concave down. The reason being is for more complex graphs, notice it could switch between what looks to be opening down and what looks to be opening up. So only for parabolas can you say opening up and opening down. Notice opening up occurs when A is positive. Opening down occurs when A is negative. Because think about it, in terms of your transformations, if A were negative, that says reflect over the x-axis. What's our A here? 2. 2 is positive, so it's going to open up. So since it's going to open up, that means our vertex is going to be what? The highest point or the lowest point? The lowest point. So if it opens up, vertex is in the center there, it's the lowest point. What format is our function in? ABC or HK? ABC. Since it's an ABC format, the x-coordinate of the vertex is given by what expression? It's on the board. Negative b over 2a. What is our b? We have negative 1 over, what is our a? What is negative 1 over 2 times 2? 1 over 4. Are we done? Nope. What do we have to do next? Plug it in to find the y-coordinate of the vertex. What is 2 times 1/4 squared minus 1/4 minus 28? So 1/4 squared is 1/16 times 2 is 1/8. 1/8 minus a fourth is negative 1/8. So negative 1/8 minus 28 more is a mixed fraction, it would be negative 28 and 1/8. As an improper fraction, I don't know. What's 8 times 28? Oh my gosh. That would be 224 plus 1 more, 225. 8. That's terrible. So that means your vertex is 1/4 negative 225 eighths. But in terms of graphing, if you want to think of it as negative 28 and 1/8, that's fine because that's easier to find. D, x-intercepts. X-intercepts occur when, so what does that mean in terms of the coordinates? Because every point on the x-axis has a y-coordinate of 0. That's why you put in 0 in for y. So if we put in 0 in for y, our y is f of x. We get 2x squared minus x minus 28. Guess what? It factors. If you would factor that, Good? So what does it say about x? X equals -7/2, and x equals, so what's the corresponding x-intercepts? -7/2, comma, 0. And the other one? What is -7/2 plus 4? One half. What's half of 1/2? 1/4. Well, here's the deal. If your parabola has x-intercepts, if you found the average of the x-intercepts, so add them up and divide by 2, you will always get the x-coordinate of the vertex. The reason being is due to symmetry, the vertex is in the center, so if these were your x-intercepts, the x value of the vertex is always halfway between your x-intercepts. That's a way to check, again, if you have x-intercepts. You don't always have x-intercepts. A y-intercept occurs when what equals 0? X. So if we put in 0 in for x, what do we get? -28. So what's the coordinates of my y-intercept? Oh, I make that more obvious. Good. Okay. So in part B, we know the graph opens up, so it looks something like this. In part C, we know the lowest point on the graph is 1/4, -225/8. So what's the range? How far down to how far up does the graph go? There you go. Since the vertex is the lowest point, it's all about the vertex, not the y-intercept. So it's -225/8 up to infinity. If it opened down, it would have been -infinity to -225/8. Yep. Good. So all this stuff we're now going to transfer to a graph, namely parts C, D, and E. Okay, clearly the tick marks are totally wrong. Oops, my bad. So let's count these by, we'll keep the x's the same. I think we can get away with that. Yeah, we can get away with that. We're going to make the y scale count by 4s. So please make a little note. So this is 4, 8, 12, 16, all the way up. And same thing down here, -4, -8, -12, -16. So my bad. I forgot to change it. So we're going to flip-flop back and forth between the pages. Going back to part C, you learned that our vertex is at a healthy 1/4, comma, -28 1/8. So 1/4 is about right here, but now we have to go down -28 1/8. So let's see, -7 would have been -28 if I multiply by 4. So a little bit past that. I'm making it big on purpose. That's our vertex. In part D, we have a x-intercept at -3.5 and also at 4. And our y-intercept is at -28. It does not look like much, but we actually have enough. Due to symmetry, we can complete the graph, and remembering that the vertex is the lowest point. So starting from the vertex, drawing your curve, make sure you go through your y-intercept, make sure you go through your x-intercept. Starting the vertex, drawing the right-hand side, make sure you go through the x-intercept.